and let's get into this right now. Like part of the not only was Elias Lindholm getting some flack, but Elias Pettersson was also getting some flack from media and fans in the Vancouver market, saying that they don't know what to expect from him game to game, whether or not he's worth the money that he's asking for on this next and he'll get on this next contract. You look at what he's gone through this season with his line mates. He started out with Kuzmenko and Mikheyev. He's now with Lindholm and Höglander, so he's had a complete swap there. He hasn't had one player who has played. He's been able to rely on go throughout the season like Miller and Besser have been for each other. And then you look at the third line, which Garland got injured today, and Joshua's out week to week now, so that's not helping things there for the Canucks. But they haven't been able to find the right chemistry with Petey this year because of players not playing to their potential.
And he's almost getting the Bo Horvat treatment in that regard.
A little bit, yeah. But I think if they can, that's why I want them to stick with having Lindholm and Höglander on Pettersson's line and see what chemistry they can build, because so far I think they've shown spurts of being a very good line. And if you could have Miller and Besser, and they've had Suter there for the last little bit as one line, and then you've got the Sweden line as another line. That's a really good 1-2 punch. Let alone once the third line gets healthy again, that's going to be tough for teams to handle.
Now with Pettersson, though, I've heard him, and I've seen this on multiple broadcasts throughout the years, that when things aren't going his way, his body language changes, and he's becomes a bit of a pouty pants. And I mean, you got to surround yourself and your core players with the best players that they can play with, and set them up for success. But at the same time, if you want to be a play driver and you want to be one of the elite within this league, you can't be pouting all the time.
Can I counter the body language part, though, just for a quick second? Is it different than a lot of the elite players that are going through this? Like, Johnny Gaudreau was a pouty pants. Many times Johnny Gaudreau was a pouty pants. There has been other people. Sidney Crosby went through some pouty pants. Connor McDavid went through some pouty pants.
I was going to bring up Pavel Bure just as far as Canuck comparisons.
Leon Draisaitl is pissy even when he scores. So I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot. Pettersson is taking the next step in his evolution of being one of the great players in this league. And that is part of the growing. I think Pettersson is going through growing pains. I do not think there's anything to worry about with Pettersson at all. At all. This is part of that evolution of becoming that next superstar that we talked about. The criticism people have had about Crosby before Crosby won 3 cups. The criticism people had about Ovechkin before Ovechkin won a cup. The criticism some people want to give McDavid before he's taken that next. He's in that kind of that position right now, right? And I think this is just part of the evolution. I don't know why there's worry about Pettersson. I think this is just part of.
I think it's a skewed, very hyper focused thinking that he can be at his best every game. Sort of expectations that get put on these top players, especially within market. You talk about not knowing what to expect from Pettersson game to game. He's scored in 2/3 of the games for the Canucks this year. You know, he's also put up points in 2/3 of the team game the games that he's played in this season. Austin Matthews.